Hi there, my name is Cupicate, and welcome back to WolfQuest with our new series. And yes, this is Mikael. So I had decided to allow myself a little more story building and to allow some time to pass just a little bit. We would continue with our sweet Mikael. And so this series is called A Watchful Heart. So Mikael has always been a family man. He loves his family and he's very protective of that family. During this litter would be when Dawn and Aurora would also be looking for their dens to find a place to have their litter. So while he's running around taking territory, so are they in the past. And if you haven't seen the series A Tale of Two Sisters between Dawn and Aurora, I highly suggest watching it. It was a lot of fun to play them. I won't spoil anything just in case, but it's a very interesting story between the two of them. A lot of tragedy unfolds, and Mikael is going to have to watch that happen in this series. And so that's kind of what we're going to be focusing on. So before we get too far into it, I'm going to go ahead and go over our goal, quirk, and flaw. And Kirby's like, can we please go? Come on. All right. And as I said, the series is called A Watchful Heart. So everything is kind of based around that. Mikael being a protective father, a loving father. And so for our goal, the goal is called Protective Father. Knowing where his daughters are, Mikael will continue to push into Crevice Lake to protect them. So I know for a fact that Aurora stayed kind of closer to Crevice Lake, especially in the beginning. I think she moved away from them later on. And then I think Dawn was kind of just all over the board. And she had no den. She had no den. She was a no den girl, but she did get her rendezvous site later in the game. But he is going to push into Crevice Lake because of what happened to his brother. And with the last series, I actually did not earn as many pack points with him as I would have liked. I was hoping that with enough pack points, doing the math, I could allow him to have a different kind of rolling system. It would still be the grief system, but there would only be one easy day, one accurate day, and two challenging days that I could roll for. So there'd be one less accurate. But because I didn't earn as many points as I thought he needed, it's going to stay the same as last time, if that makes sense. But he's still going to push into Crevice Lake because that fear is always in the back of his head. Now his quirk is called Watchful Eyes. So, Mikael must visit all of Aurora's dens and visit her rendezvous site and Dawn's rendezvous site at some point in the game. And he may even find himself kind of wandering along the area that Dawn had been going. But Mikael's going to have a harder time tracking Dawn because we did the no den challenge with her series, so she never had a den. And then for the flaw is called Stressed and Tired. So we're doing a similar thing you'll see tomorrow with Seraph. Hers is called something different, but essentially what it means is that when he hits 0% wakefulness, he has to pass out where he is. So if we're not careful, we're going to be passing out in the field, away from the den, away from the pups, possibly affecting affinity. So I have to keep an eye on that wakefulness bar. Otherwise, I have to pass out. I have to. If we have a problem where like I forget, then I'm going to have to do a double sleep no matter what. So either way, it could be devastating if I'm not careful. It could mean pup deaths from sickness. It could mean pup deaths from hunger. I'm going to have to watch out. And then the pack points is actually going to remain the same, which was called Taking a Stand for You, and that's where he earns points for chasing off wolves and killing coyotes. It goes back to Mikael's past, where he grew up believing that Teo had died of a coyote, and even though he knows that Teo did not actually die, he still holds that hatred for coyotes in his heart because he lost his brother. Even though his brother's still alive, he still lost his brother because of what the coyotes did. And then because of Crevice Lake, he lost Aspen. And so he'll be chasing off those Crevice Lake wolves. But that includes den attacks. If he chases off wolves from a den, then that means that he gets a point. So with that, we are gonna roll and see how much Mikael's grief is affecting him today, because he's still heartbroken for the loss of Aspen and not having a relationship with Teo. And I think even seeing Dawn and Aurora go off on their own has him grief-stricken and afraid that he's going to lose them both. We rolled a 3, so we will be inaccurate today. All right, and before our wakefulness bar gets down too far, we better find some dens. So this was actually Aurora's den back in A Tale of Two Sisters series. I love this den. Unfortunately, though, it has caused a lot of problems with the bears. Especially with getting stuck like in spots like this and getting cornered. I love how beautiful it is, but it is kind of a dangerous den. But I like to imagine that Mikael may have possibly met Aurora here to check on her and see his very pregnant daughter and meet the new member of the family, Aries, which was Aurora's mate. I just love that idea, and that he's proud of her for getting through her shyness and her just fear, especially after getting attacked by those stranger wolves. I'm sure he's very proud of her at this point. Even though we can't see her in the game right now, it's just all theater of the mind, using our imagination, creating stories to make this game, as beautiful as it is, a little more interesting, because it does get a little redundant when you're doing the same things over and over and over again. So we've only actually found 2 dens, but I'm trying to decide if a hunt might be a good idea right now. Who fell already? 2, 3, 4. Excellent. There's Mom. Mom is very upset with us right now, but that's okay. I understand. That was a nice catch. I really love the falling system. I think it kind of helps, especially if you have a really slow wolf. It will give that slow wolf a chance. Or in Mikael's case, he doesn't have a lot of stamina, and stamina affects how well you do damage. It's not just the strength anymore, so it became really important for these elk to fall. All these elk are falling! The snow must be really slippery right now. Ooh, Kirby, watch out. She did good, though. She did really good. We're just gonna let them run for a minute. I love how Kirby right now is trying to stop the mother elk. I wonder if the mother is weak and that's why she's going after the mom. Oh! She's not weak, by the way. Oh no, where'd the calf go? Kirby, you distracted me. There we go. Ooh, get out of the way. Very nice. That is all over now. And we're pretty close to a den, which is great. I would absolutely love to see these two get a den really quick here, because our wakefulness is already so much lower. And I want to make sure that I follow that rule. If I don't, I got to do a double sleep, and that can be even more devastating. Oh yes, the tree den is over here. I absolutely adore this den. This is where we may be staying. And we are at the naming point, so we will continue with our Snagglefang pack. And I just realized, I was like, wow, so we're technically running 2 Ovarian packs right now, because Teo has taken that name from Seraph, who came from the original Ovarian pack. She kept that name and then she passed it down to Teo. So Mikael is carrying the Snagglefang pack on his own right now, which makes sense because he is kind of our new king of the Snagglefang pack, because Kiba and Bane kind of went off to do their own thing together. I don't even know if they're in Slough Creek right now, since, you know, I'm kind of waiting for Towerfall to come out. But yes, he's really just carrying this on his own. And I do think we are going to stay right here in this tree den because our kill is right there. I'm hoping it doesn't attract too many predators. That's the only thing I'm worried about. But having the food right there would be pretty handy, especially because of Mikael's flaw. I think we're going to call this the Twisted Nest. I don't know why that name just popped into my head and I thought it was kind of cool. Let's go ahead and see how many pups we're gonna have. Oh my gosh. Oh, and it's our birthday. Yes. Okay, this is rough. The main reason this is rough is because of the fact that these 3 clouts, or the 2 clouts and the 1 wisdom, are just so great. Like, I love the good memory. And I feel like Mikael would have that just anyway. So I'm gonna have to choose that one because when he was growing up, he was always the one super attentive, paying attention to everything Bane and Kiba taught. Like, he was always there. So I feel like his intelligence is really high, which could mean his wisdom is high. Now, I will say some people are really, really smart, but they are not wise with their intelligence. So, I mean, it goes hand in hand. But I do think that good memory is something Mikael would have, absolutely. I also think territorial might is something he would have. But youthful prowess is so, so important. So I'm starting to think that we're going to have to take all of these and live with his horrible stamina, and it scares me to death. But we're just going to have to make it work. And as you can see, Kirby puts up her own, so hopefully Kirby can carry us on the really bad days. So let's advance to age 5 and see how many pups we have. We have 6 beautiful babies! Oh my gosh, we got 1 boy! How is this possible right now? So if you watched the last episode of Teo, the first episode, I should say, of his series, Daybreak Over Red Waters, they actually had 7 puppies. So this is the first time it's actually broken off. But he only had 1 female, and now Mikael only has 1 male. That is crazy. So we have 1 little male, 2 M, and then we have 2 F, 3 F, 4 F, 5 F, and 6 F. I cannot wait to read the names that you guys are going to post in the comments. Please give me those beautiful names that y'all always seem to have in store, making it so hard for me to choose. Hello, 6F. She's like so unsure. It's like, Dad, it's so bright out here. Hello, here, let me feed you, love. Oh, and then they all come out together. All right, let me feed them. Look at how dark 4F is. And there's little 2M who's gray. Oh my gosh, this was quite a dark litter, except for 2M. Oh, babies. Let's see you out in the sunlight a little bit. You wanna come out here? Actually, I like that you're close to the den, so never mind. 3F, you need to eat. Are you gonna be like your sister Aurora? Huh? All right, let's see some of them in the light. Okay, so 2F actually kind of looks like her mother. 2M is gray. 3F is bright red. 5F is kind of a brown. 4F, okay, 4F is brown. 6F is a little bit more dark. That's amazing. And then Kirby just went over to eat. That's awesome. I'm so glad that was there for her. Y'all are still hungry. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna take some time to play with them a little bit before we go off on our journey, probably to do some more hunting. As low as Mikael's health is, they've gotta make sure they got food. We just wanna really make sure we don't get down bad on that food, especially with having to follow this wakefulness flaw. Ooh, but there are elk that way. Perfect. We're gonna go in for a hunt today. Wow, there was actually plenty left on this carcass. That's incredible. I still think taking territory and hunting is a good plan. We're gonna take Kirby with us. We're gonna need her help with our terrible stamina. She's probably gonna be with us a lot this playthrough. I don't think there's gonna be much of leaving her behind. I did happen to run across the Castle Rock den, so Charm actually stayed here during her litter, which would have been the same time that Mikael had his last litter. So I imagine it probably still smells like her just a little bit, but he might actually enjoy being in this den because it's so close to his daughter, Aurora, who I think he's more worried about than Dawn. Perfect. I see food on the horizon. Wait, are those all bull elk? Oh no, we are not hunting bull elk. Just kidding. It is food, but not the food we need. Where are the females? I was just following their scent. Well, I sincerely wanted to hunt, but I only ever came across those bull elk, and I didn't want to risk Mikael getting too tired. We were able to take one territory hex, which was pretty nice. The meat from the elk calf is gone, so we don't have to worry about it attracting predators. But now that the pups are really full, we'll feed them one more time. Oh my gosh, little 3F, you're so small. Look at you! We are gonna take a sleep after they've eaten, and then we will try again in the morning. This may have been a blessing in disguise since Mikael did take some hits the other day from that elk mom. Luckily, I don't smell anything bad other than dispersal wolves, and they don't usually bother the den. We have really bold puppies, and it's making me nervous. As you can see, Kirby keeps having to go back and forth to get them to come over here. 4F, where are you going? Just tasting your tail. You're gonna end up like Teo. I swear. With the pups fed, we're gonna go off and try and find some elk. I am not smelling anything other than rabbit right now, so we're literally gonna run in the opposite direction and just hope we come across something. Oh my goodness, the elk were so far from the den. They just must have smelled us and we're like, nah. Okay, let's see how this hunt goes. All right, that was a successful hunt, and I think it's the perfect way to end off this episode. Mikael and Kirby have done really well. Now, he took some pretty harsh hits, but luckily he's got that +2 health to kind of balance him out a little bit. All right, y'all. So that was the start of a watchful heart with Mikael, our protective father, our protective leader of the Snagglefang pack who cares so deeply for his pack and his family. And I think that he's gonna have a hard run. I'm gonna be honest. I think he's gonna have a hard run this time because of what happens with A Tale of Two Sisters, which has already gone on. Now, a lot of the bad doesn't happen until just a little bit later, but I think it will affect him greatly, and I would love to hear what you think about that in the comments below. Alright, y'all. I hope you liked this video, the start of a series. If you did, tickle and poke that like button, hit the subscribe button to join our family, our pack, our clan, and don't forget to ring that bell so you're notified of when I post WolfQuest. Also, feel free to join Discord and follow me on Twitch so you can see me on other social platforms. I love you guys. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next week for more of A Watchful Heart. Bye!